Hello and welcome to another video. Today with a Titan Quest build for comfort food. The classic lightning arrow volley featuring a very simple but extremely solid dish. We are basing this one on two things, the basic attack as well as the Nimbus aura to change our base damage to lightning damage. This skill also changes its appearance based on the elemental damage we fire. So it's the perfect skill for this. We will also be using a ton of different lightning strike procs to electrocute our foes left and right. Now the best thing about the basic attack is it has access to basically everything. Vitality damage, rage, more damage multipliers, additional projectiles, everything you can imagine. So naturally we pick 1 point in vitality, extra 10%, so basically 1% leech all the time. We can also use the glorious mark of death for bosses to debuff them, buff us and give us even more lifesteal. Next up is the mobility blink spell, which we further upgrade to also proc lightning strikes on use. Together with the vanish skill, we are basically looking at zero downtime and are constantly moving around at top speed. And with all the additional projectile range as well as speed, we can off-screen quite a lot. And as mentioned before, we can rage for free. We also get a more attack speed more multiplier with that rage, so it's a no-brainer to pick this one. It's just an amazing skill to work with. So much power in such a comfy build. Now, if you like what I do and want to support me, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you have not already. So thank you very much for the support and let's dive into the meat. So this time around, we are going to check out the basic primary attack. We have quite a lot to pick from. Our available modifiers have 2 pages. We're going to pick Tailwind for projectile penetration as well as more projectile speed, as well as 1 point in volley. So we have a 40% chance to fire 2 additional projectiles in a cone. Those deal less damage, but that's enough. We can still proc our additional lightning strikes. Oh, by the way, for the volley, I don't think this one shotguns at all. So I think only the primary projectile hits the target for the full damage and the rest doesn't. So this one is a little bit special here. So again, we pick up vitality damage. This is extra. So we scale our damage first, then we add vitality damage on top of that. So 130, and we leech 30 of that. We can boost this further through other sources of leech or improve our leech otherwise. There is passives for that. So this one is a 1 point wonder. Additionally, we are looking at 10% more damage basically here because we scale our lightning damage first. We double dip on this one. Then we are looking at onslaught, 2% more attack speed per rage. So if we assume we have 13 rage, which we can get for a storm tree, we are looking at 26% multiplicative attack speed. This one is just insane for a more multiplier. Next up, we have lightning strikes. We have a chance to trigger lightning strikes. So it's a 15% chance per point. Lightning strike deals around 700 damage. So it's a really good damage addition to this one. Also, it looks extremely cool. Lightning strike scales on our character level, which is, by the way, 40 is the max. So we can only get level 40 and then that's about it. So the first 17 points go into the basic ability here. Well, except one in this Storm Nimbus. We need 2 points here to get lightning imbuement. Now, lightning imbuement gets just a little bit of extra lightning damage, which is just not worth it, so it's a 1 point wonder. We pick up Thunderstorm for 60% increased lightning strike damage and additional chance to cause lightning strikes automatically. And we pick up Storm Enhancement for 40% lightning damage. Altogether, we get 60% lightning damage from this aura, as well as the conversion to lightning damage on our weapon damage. Meaning, without this one active, we will be shooting regular arrows. Once we activate this one, we're going to shoot lightning arrows. Really cool, really great addition to the game. From the Storm Tree, we are additionally only getting the Blink ability with Repeat. We want to max out Repeat, so 2 points here, so we can teleport 3 times. And Thunderstorm, so when we teleport, we have a 60% chance, then 75% chance, and at the end, 90% chance to hit enemies with a lightning strike. So just really, really cool. We have a stun chance here, which is also great. And we have engage, so we get 40% reduced damage. Altogether, a great ability for defensive purposes. In the rogue tree, we are going to use preparation. Preparation, we want to max out enhanced critical strikes as well as Trailblazer. Trailblazer gives us impairment resistance as well maximum impairment resistance as well as 15% movement speed. 15% movement speed is amazing because it's basically a second pair of boots. And for enhanced critical strikes, we get 10% critical hit chance as well as 4% critical damage more multiplier. If you're struggling with energy, you're going to need a helmet specifically for this one, like this one. Energy plus and energy reserved minus. Otherwise, just take a few points out of the critical strike chance here. It's not all that much. And remember, we are only going to get 11 additional points. So we want to max out Vanish with 17 points. So we only have 1 point left. And this 1 point we need to split between Blink or Preparation. So at the end of the day, having those enhanced critical hits might be a bad idea because we also want to max out Blink for having that additional defenses and stun chance, additional mobility. So it's more a matter of, do we want more damage or defenses here? Now for the progression, that's very, very easy. You just pick up Nimbus, then you pick up primary attack, max out primary attack, grab the second aura here for the rogue, so preparation, as well as Mark of Death. Mark of Death just needs a little bit of weakness here, so 10% reduced damage by the mark target. This one has no duration. We get Life Leech, 10% additional vitality damage, and with this skill, passive skill, we get additional damage, which is also more damage multiplier and minus resistances, so it's an amazing 1-point wonder. So after that, you can either go into mobility with Blink, or you can get the steroid here, Vanish. It's giving you burst of speed, enhanced critical hits, as well as enhanced duration. Now, with that said, let's have a look at the passives. For Storm, down below here, we don't need anything. For Rogue, we're going to max out accuracy, as well as deft hands. Later on, for accuracy, we want critical hit chance, as well as crit damage. For deft hands, the attack speed. The attack speed is huge for our build, makes the bow feel much better. In the second row, we don't pick anything, then we're going to focus on the Storm tree. We want 77 increased lightning damage here, so we scale the projectile damage as well as the weapon damage. We get attack speed here, 4%, so also really, really nice. That's basically the best node for Storm's damage scaling. Then we have Storm Guidance. For Storm Guidance, we pick up the speed here, projectile speed and range is going to enable us to hit things off screen. The homing doesn't do anything because we don't have the homing tag. So a skill like, for example, Lightning Bolt or Lightning Shot doesn't do anything. It needs this specific trait here, homing strength. If it doesn't have base homing strength, it is not going to be more multiplied by the increased homing strength. So it needs a base homing ability to function with this one. But we still get the range and projectile damage, so that's good. I don't think it's worth it to go above the 5 points. We have much better options if we want to go that route, and we only have 22 additional passive points now. For that purpose, I would advise you to just go with Deft Hands. Those are 6 points. Then we max out Sleight of Hand, as well as Dismantling Tactics, which is 18 points, or in this case, it's 17 points. And then you have Taste of Blood for vitality damage, lifesteal, so you can increase your leech, or you can decrease the movement skill cooldown here, as well as gain glancing hit chance, which is really nice. So enemies don't deal the full damage to you. I think it's just 70%. I don't know the exact multiplier here, but this basically sums it up. Now something that I need to talk about is Raging Storm. We have increased rage effect here. The basic rage effect is 1% total attack damage as well as attack speed. Plus the more multiplier we get through the other skill is also a rage effect. So this one buffs this one by an immense amount. So at 8 points, that's 80% rage effect, which is incredible. We also get 2 really nice things here, maximum rage stacks, as well as rage duration. So when we run from pack to pack, we don't drop off as many rage stacks. And Lightning Evoker is just a 15% chance to hit a random enemy when we activate a non-channel skill, basically our attack, basic attack, and we get 40% lightning strike damage as well as rage. So whenever we overflow, so go above 13 points, we have a 15% chance to hit a random enemy with a lightning strike. So that's a really nice addition. For the attributes, I need to talk a little bit about this. We want to have as much cunning as possible. So we want to get into knowledge as well as agility. To equip bows, we need agility. So we invest 150 points here. And for equipment that's based on casting, we would need knowledge. Now, we could as well go into agility full time, but we only need around 150 in each of those to equip equipment out of those categories. So we have much more options this way than we would have by just going agility. And our damage is going to stay the same regardless because we are scaling cunning, which is basis for poison and lightning damage. Now, next up, let's have a look at our equipment. We're going to look at bows. As you can see here, bows have a base weapon ailment chance or sometimes a base weapon critical hit chance. You want a base with base weapon critical hit chance. This is much, much more powerful than anything else in the game. The base critical hit chance is 5%. With this one, it's 10%. So We're scaling 10% instead of 5. There is basically no drawback to this. It is just a better bow. Now for stats, we want attack speed, critical hit chance, base lightning damage, and lightning damage, increased lightning damage. Down below here on this weapon, you can see this with increased lightning damage. There is also hybrid, attack speed and cast speed. This is also good. And other things, like for example, weapon pierce damage or strike damage or whatever, is still incredible for this build because we are converting the weapon base damage, which this one adds to lightning damage. So we don't necessarily need weapon lightning damage on our weapon. A bow like this one is really, really strong. For our chest, resistances, glancing hit chance, really, really good. For our shoulders, we want to focus on increased critical hit chance as well as agility. Agility buffs our damage, so we want that base stat as well as resistances. We can also dip a little bit into health to increase our hardness. For the helmet, I highly recommend one with energy and energy reserved minus. This will make sure you do have enough energy left so you can fire your shots with the appropriate attack speed. With 30 energy regeneration, you can shoot 2 times before you lose on mana. We can get to this one very, very fast because of all the multipliers when we stack up our rage and pop vanish. So we do have to use our mana potions all the time when we are fighting targets for a longer period of time. Next up, our boots, movement speed as well as resistances. No brainer here, get as much movement speed as possible, as much resistances as possible to cap out on fire and lightning as well as on cold resistance. For gloves, resistances, attack speed and lightning damage. For rings, we want to have weapon pierce damage, any base damage at all that's going to buff our damage immensely, increased lightning damage, cooldown rate. Cooldown rate is really great for blink and vanish. We only have 3.6 seconds cooldown on our vanish because of all the cooldown reduction we have. You can also get critical strike chance. And for our necklace, we want resistances, increased attributes, which is basically more damage, and cooldown rate. Currently, I'm sitting at 27 crit strike chance. When I pop my vanish, we are at 33%. With everything popped and everything optimized, we can get this one to around 50%, I think, with the better gear. So you're going to benefit through more multipliers for critical strike damage quite a lot. And you're going to see quite a lot of crits, which is nice. So for the boss, we're going to quickly mark him. As before, pop our cooldowns and go to town. We need a little bit of time to ramp our rage. But once we do, we will completely blast him. As you can see here, we ramp up quite a lot. So I'm going to quickly reset the boss and show you with a little bit more rage. So again, we mark him, we pop our cooldowns, and we melt him. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and see you next time. Bye.